I have no idea.
And
We know one out in Rochester.
Yeah. The purple sheet shows the tax levy for Rushford and where we are in the scheme of all the other communities in Rushford, or in the county. And we have been higher, so we're more down in the middle range right now. And it's interesting to see what the tax capacity is for some of these other communities and what their rates end up being with when they have similar capacities as we do. So apparently they're not levying because they don't have a need to levy. And the blue sheet is the City of Rushford history, which shows the taxable market value and the tax capacity and the resulting levy, the resulting tax rate, and how this year our rate is going to be going down. Because we had enough taxable market value growth and a relatively small levy increase to bring that rate down. Then the other sheet with a property tax analysis, this is something we started shortly after the flood, where we took these 30 different cases of homes and businesses, some that were affected by the flood and some that weren't. And because many times people will look at just their current tax statement, they don't think about what it was 3 or 4 years ago. And many of these homes are back now to what they were pre-flood. Many of them will see huge increases in taxes, but that may be because they have an entirely new home. People who had no flood damage are pretty much staying the same. If their value stayed the same, their taxes are staying the same.
Just wanted to point out, on this one, you still got the 350 PML bond number 355 paid off at 3/2012. That's supposed to be 354.
Really?
It's still on here. Talked about that last week.
I thought I fixed that. Apparently I didn't.
Wanted to let you know.
Okay. So the property owners, you know, commercial, you can see the differences with some of the commercials where they had damages, either no damage or substantial damage, and how that's affected them tax-wise. So I don't think there's too many property owners this year that will be too upset with their taxes, unless their taxes went up because they had an increase in value, and that could be because maybe their home has finally got the full value on it, or maybe they did an addition to their home, or maybe the land value got added back on. There were some reductions in land value because of the flood, and that may have gotten added back on. My property, my personal property, increased in value, and I think it was just because the land value got added back on, so my taxes went up. But my value went up, so I understand that. I don't mind that. Anybody have any questions or comments on some of these properties? Each case is a little bit different.
Can you explain why the commercial property seems to have decreased?
Decreased in...
On the line 2011 for the property taxes. Right above the property owner's name.
Well, it's based on 2006.
Are you looking at what particular case number?
Looking at take Stumpy's Restaurant or the Rushford State Bank on page 3.
Why their
The 2011 estimated market value.
Okay.
The 2011 property taxes.
Well, that's, like, you look at the state bank, it's down 0.35% from where it was in 2006. It's up from where it was last year.
Yeah, this it's an annualized change from 2006 to 2011, not just 1 year. That's the tricky part when people are looking at their tax statement and they see, like mine said a 10% increase, you know, because I had an increase this year, but if you stop and look back to all the last 4 or 5 years, what did it really come to percentage-wise? So that percentage is over the course of '06 to 2011. So you're, like, in the case of the state bank, you're back almost to where you were pre-flood, yeah.
If your value has changed dramatically, like a couple of these, your tax rate is going to go up because their value is high. But if it's changed moderately and the tax rate is just a little bit lower now, you should see it.
Well, the one in Nancy Benson, she has a new house.
Yep.
So
Makes
that
the whole-
would obviously raise hers.
And some of these, like on page 4 with Jim Kitchens for the bowling alley, his value is exactly back to where it was in '06. But his tax dollars that he has to pay are less. Less than '06.
I'm assuming, when you say state bank, that's only the property of the building on.
Yep.
Because all the rest of my properties went up over 100%.
Well, okay. I would say,
Land must have
Big
gotten
deal.
a lot more valuable.
well, I think they did, they added the value, the land had been reduced by a certain percentage because of the flood stuff. And they left that reduction on for a longer period of time, so I think that all got put back to where it was, or where it was before the flood.
I think one of those went up 108%, amounted to $34.
$34.